So I am just going to say thank you and everyone for joining us. Mark, thank you so much for joining us. Mark Michaud, he is an agent with HomeSmart. And, you know, I appreciate your time today and taking the time to talk to us. We're going to be going through and talking about how to be better organized. So some organizational habits for your business in 2021. If you have a you've got, your CRM should have all these tools that you need to really get you organized. And if you're not using Wise Agent, guess what? We will be giving you a little promo code at the end so you can sign up for a Wise Agent account and get that all set up for you. So we'll talk about that towards the end. And Mark is going to share his wisdom with us on what he's done to increase his productivity and efficiency. And the number that you told me was you've increased your efficiency by 36% in 2020.
Yep, that's correct.
That's astonishing. That is great. So kudos to you. Congratulations on that. I know that's one thing all of us struggle with, right, is just being more efficient. There is a limited amount of time in the day that we all get. We all have that equal amount. And so for you to be able to increase your productivity, within that same time frame by that percentage is a great number. So we're going to just jump right in and start talking about that. So Mark, can you explain to everyone, to all of us here, how you use Wise Agent? I know you've been a Wise Agent member since 2018. I know you've put a lot of time into and effort into becoming more efficient, which has allowed you to increase your productivity. So can you explain to us what you've done, how you've used Wise Agent to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start this off. I as the regular agent running around with your head cut off, right? So I'm not inclined to be the most detailed person. I'm just not that guy. So I needed a CRM that would help me that would tell me what I needed to do, and would have all the resources that I need in one place, and was quite flexible because depending on how you choose to work, your work style changes as an agent over a period of time, and depending on how much experience you have and what you got going on. Some months you have a lot of transactions, some years you have a lot of transactions, some years you don't, and so your productivity changes from time to time. And if you're trying to be consistent, you need a CRM that offers a lot of flexibility. And that was the win for me with Wise Agent, because with Wise Agent, one of the things that I loved about Wise Agent right off the bat was the landing pages and the property flyers that you could create. Now the templates, I've seen a lot of templates in a lot of different CRMs, and it's just not really as cool looking as the ones that I saw on Wise Agent at the time when I jumped into Wise Agent. And the thing about Wise Agent too is that like some of the other CRMs, you are notified, your home screen can give you everything. You could get a full synopsis of your business right up front, right? So you jump in every morning and you say, okay, this is what I got going on. This is how many sales I have. This is how much I'm making in commissions. This is my sales volume. These are how many calls I need to make today. And this is how many calls I missed. This is how many calls I have in the future. And you just go down the list of things that you need to do and how you need to function day to day. So that's very helpful. The other thing I liked about Wise Agent as well is their integrations, because I do a lot of Facebook advertising, and it was very seamless for Wise Agent just to connect with Facebook. And the really cool thing about it as well is when you create an ad in Facebook, and that ad it gets imported into Wise Agent, the ad campaign name also follows the client into Wise Agent, which is very, very cool. So if I have several ads running and they all are imported into Wise Agent, I know which ad brought them here, right? So yeah. if I'm starting a follow-up campaign separately for each one, I know which person it is because it's already labeled in Wise Agent when you're trying to find that particular client, right? So that is super helpful.
Let me,
100%.
I'm gonna share my screen, Mark, so then people can see, you know, what you're talking about here. So
Yeah,
let me
absolutely.
go, let me log in here to this Wise Agent account. And so this is the homepage. This is the dashboard that Mark was talking about. And you know, you can organize this however you see fit. So in this account, this particular account, we have the commission report up here, but you can change these things around. You can move the calendar up top if you want, or you can move this quadrant here so you can see your most recent leads, or whoever, you know, here. So when you, and then this is the source. So this is what Mark is talking about, is that source comes over to Wise Agent from Facebook or from whatever, you know, lead source that we're talking about. So you can see here, this is from, like, you know, our website. This is from a landing page, probably. This is from Ylopo, one of our integrated partners. And what you can do, what Mark is talking about, is you can set up your lead management to have these rules for your leads. So if you're getting, if you're acquiring leads from any source, meaning, you know, Facebook, like what Mark was mentioning, realtor.com, Zillow, your own website, or whatever it is that you're doing, or from one of our landing pages, what you can do is you can set up a rule where it will, you know, that lead will come in, right? And the source comes in. That's that source that Mark was talking about, what that campaign is coming from on Facebook. So I'm saying on Facebook, you know, I have a page, that's a form that they're going to be filling out called 123 Main Street Open House. And I'm going to add them to a drip campaign. I'm going to make sure that they get added to my call list so I can call them later. And then I'm also going to add them to categories. Maybe they're a new buyer. Maybe I want to send them the monthly newsletter email. And then this is the important part here, this auto responder, right, Mark? This is like, you need to make sure that you're reaching out to people as soon as they come in, because it's that, that speed to the lead that really makes a difference in conversion. I think, Mark,
Absolutely.
you can talk on
Yeah,
that a little bit as well,
and
right?
also I have the email response running as well with those videos, and also the Wise text response,
Mhm.
because we know when you text a client, there's a 95% open rate, right? And so it's worth every dollar to get the Wise text option, and to add as many texts as you would like, depending on how many clients you're going to be using it for in a month. But that's a solid option, and there's just not a lot of CRMs that have those options included as well. I know before, when I was using Top Producer, I had to also go outside of Top Producer and use easy texting, to add my text campaigns, and all that is just happening right there in Wise Agent. So that's it's definitely a bonus if you ask me, because I just don't like going to a whole bunch of different places to get things that I need to operate my business. So for me, Wise Agent, it just comes across massively as just a one-stop shop. You know, it's a massive hub for whatever you got going on. And you know, regardless of the level, or the size of your business, right?
Right.
It's a great resource, and that's kind of how I look at it. It's a resource for what I need, and for me to get to for me to manage my clients well, right? Yeah.
Right, exactly. And the text response, you know, just like you said, there's 95% open rate on your text messages. If everyone just, you know, took a quick glance at their phone, right, you would see that maybe you got a couple of missed ones because you're listening to us here. But really, I mean, your text messages are going to be read throughout the day. So this is a huge way of getting your message out to your leads. And this is a message that you can customize. So this is just a canned response that we put in here, but you can type out whatever you want. And then this is a really cool thing as well that you can do, is you could add an image here, or you can add a video. So here on this one, you know, I just happened to just throw in a property flyer for this particular property, but you can put whatever it is that you want in there. And I know Mark is big on video and a big believer in that. And I think for everyone, I mean, look at what we're doing right now. It's all on video. Video is so important because it can convey your message in a way that text just can't. It just
Yeah.
comes across
Like
maybe a little flat.
one of the things that I'm doing right now is a So it's interesting that you have the just listed right here. So in my community, obviously you can go to the title companies. Some title companies will help you and pull numbers for the people that are in the areas. Obviously, you have to know which one. They will let you know which ones on the do not call list and so on and so forth. But those that are clear, what you can do is in the community, you can say, hey guys, this property just listed or it just sold, right? And it sold for this much and so on and so on. So if you bought your property at this amount of time, you probably have this much equity in your home, right? So like most of the people in my area, they bought their properties when it was just building in 95. Right? They just bought it in 95. So some of them don't owe anything, if anything at all. So it's and they don't really know what the price of their property is. So what I can do is, or what I'm doing is, I would get these numbers and I would send a video text to everyone standing in front of the property, letting them know the property. They can see the properties in their neighborhood. They're like, oh my gosh, they want some more information. And so when they want some more information, they text you right back. They text you right back and say, hey, can I get some more information on this? What do you think my property is worth? Or are you still in the area? I had that actually happen to me. Are you still in the area? I just saw this because as soon as I'm doing a text with Wise Agent, you could use it on your phone or whatever, depending on how you set up. But however you're comfortable setting it up. But I set it up, send it out, and then people respond. And it's another way to stay on top of mind, and people get to see you. And the cool thing about people seeing you with text and video, which is like the best combination, if you ask me, is that they can hear your words, but then they can also see your nonverbal communication. They can see my face, they can see my eyes, they can see this is somebody that I could trust, right? So it's just a solid combination, and to have that all in one CRM and to be able to do it just like that, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's and thank you, Mark, for sharing all that. I think that is such a important thing, is being able to build up that trust, because what you're all doing when you're getting these leads coming in, you're building a relationship, which is building trust. So then they can trust you in the process that they're going to be going through, either buying or selling or both. Right. And that is a huge commitment that they're making with you. And trust is a huge factor in all of that. And so I think video does come across a lot better, because then you can see the expression on their face, their body language and whatnot. And so that's really important to convey.
And it speeds up the process. It speeds up the trust process, right? It speeds up the trust process. Because if all I see from you is an email, okay, that's great. I have a whole bunch of other people sending me emails. However, if you're standing out and you're sending me a video and I get to see you, I get to know you, the more you talk to me, the more I hear your voice, the more I understand your demeanor, because I'm seeing you moving in your videos as well, right? The faster I'm able to trust you if I like those things about you, right? And the people that reach out to you are people who are already invested, because they've seen you, they know what you look like, they know what you sound like, right? If you have an accent like me, or you don't have an accent, they're not even worried about it, because they're already familiar with you. So they're like, hey, we choose you. And so when you actually are in front of them, your objections, the objections that they might present, become a lot less than if they've never seen you before, right?
Exactly. And I'm going to just pause right here for a second, because I know we have quite a few questions here. So I want to take a couple of them. So one of them is, how can you text a client from Wise Agent? And so let me go back to my screen share here. There's a couple of ways, Joanna, to be able to do that. So one, I was showing here is your lead rule. So as soon as the lead comes in, you can set up a rule to automatically have a text message go out to them. You can have this Wise text response here. But then if you just want to send like either a one-on-one text message, or a lot of text messages, bulk texting. So if I just go in here, oops, not my source, I want my categories. If I go to my category and I say, let me find all my VIPs. And so this is a whole group of people. I could either, text Elon Musk here individually by going into his contact summary page. And then I can just click on this button here And then for those of you that are current Wise Agent members or, considering using Wise Agent, we do have a new updated look. And so this is the new look. It's in preview right now. So I can come here and just say, hi, first name, if I'm doing this in bulk. Obviously this is going to be, and then I can text this number, type out my message, attach a video. And I think that was another question in here. I can attach a video from either, my Wise Agent account, or if I'm on my phone or computer, I can upload one from right here by clicking on that, and then send this out. And I can include the spouse or not. So I can also, this is a really important thing. I tell everyone, it's so important to make sure that your messaging is good, is like, looks good. And the best way of doing that is sending yourself a test. You should all be taking advantage of this send test. So you can enter in your number and then you'll get the test on your phone. So then you can see what that looks like, especially if it's a video or an image, or you're putting emojis in there, you're doing whatever weird characters or something. You want to make sure that that message comes across properly. So use that send a test feature. That's really important. We have that throughout what you can do in Wise Agent. Another place where you can send out a text message from is our marketing drip campaigns. So you can set it up where if you have an active campaign in here, you could select one of your drips to be one of your messages to be sending a text. So I can send a text message and I can put in my message here and type everything out, and again include an image or video or whatever it is that I want to include. So I can come in here and say, okay, I want to include this video, and then I can again send a test or save this and go on. And now this will automatically go out on the days and the day and time that I've set up the campaign to go out on. So those are the 3 ways that you can send texting. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to mention with that is also understanding your frame rate when you're taking a video. So like, for example, if you have a really good camera, right? You have no clue, but you were just recording and you recorded your video in 4K, right? In 4K, and you were trying to put that video on Instagram. Well, Instagram still operates at 720i, right? So if Instagram is still operating at 720, your 4K awesome, beautiful looking video is then going to be compressed, right? To look in 720, right? Which it devalues the look of your video, right? So it helps if you when you're doing your videos and you're putting it into Wise Agent to do a test, send it to yourself and see what it looks like, because I want to see what my client is going to see or potential client is going to see, because it's their first time. If it's the first email, it's the first time them seeing me, right? So I want everything to be locked in, so that even if that means if I have to lower the standard on my camera or the frame rate to match the source that I'm using it in, then that's a lot more helpful, right? Because you're going to get what you put out. So that for me is helpful, because I pay attention to that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So if anybody's kind of geeky and techie there, that might be something you want to look into. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And so I know we have a couple of more questions on this texting that we're talking about. So do you have to, Jennifer's asking, do you have to have one number created, or do you need different numbers for different landing pages and etc.? And Jennifer, it's completely up to you. Wise Agent is flexible. If you want to have, I would say that for each landing page, I don't think you necessarily need one for each landing page, but if you do have a team in your Wise Agent account, I would say it would be best to have a different number for each team member. So Wise Agent is team friendly, where you can have up to 5 team members per account. So on this account, there's Rachel, Monica, Phoebe, and Chandler and Ross. So Monica can have her own text number, so can Phoebe, so can Rachel, and Chandler, Ross, all of them. So then then that's when you see here this text number, there's 2 different numbers here. So then you can see to distinguish which one you're going to be sending from. So the one is the WISE number, the WISE text number, and the other is the number of, the cell phone that's attached to it, which I think answers the next question was, can you send a text from your own mobile device number on WISE Agent? And that's not possible right now. That's going from, not going too techie into this, too deep. That's going from an analog system to a digital, and that doesn't really work. So we had to do this conversion. But any text that you send out have this masked number. When the responses come in, they'll also be going into your WISE Agent account. You can see them either by that contact or in the reports. And then you'll definitely be able to see them from your mobile device. And I keep looking on the side because that's where my phone is. So that's where you'll be able to see that. Okay. We got a lot of questions about texting. Where do you store the text and video on WISE Agent? So the videos, you can just, when you upload a video, you can upload an image to your image gallery here from your toolbar. And then you can also have the stored text messages that we have are, oops, I don't want that. Sorry, too many things over my windows. These are actually, these videos here are videos from BombBomb that are in our WISE Agent account. So we have an integration with BombBomb. I know, Mark, that's one tool that you use, right? An integration that you use of ours. So these are BombBomb videos, and then you can just upload your videos as well. Okay, so.
And another thing too is when it comes to video and the length, how long should your video be, right? That you're sending out to people. Now, certain platforms love longer videos because the algorithm works. Like, for example, Facebook love longer videos. So does YouTube. YouTube loves videos that are 10 minutes or longer, right? In length, right? Because it keeps people on those platforms longer. However, if we're using WISE Agent or CRM and we're sending videos out to people, we need to treat it like Instagram. So we want to keep it a minute or less, right? So 60 seconds. So keep your message precise. You don't want to go too long. If it's something super important, create a part 2, right? Create a part 2 to that message. But 60 seconds or less is ideal, right? And it helps when it comes to loading that message in as well.
Right. So for WISE Agent, it has to be actually 40 seconds or less to do that. And that's, I know a lot of people think like 40 seconds, what can you say in 40 seconds? You can actually say quite a bit in 40 seconds. And there's a lot of technical reasons behind that, but we do compress all of those videos. So then you can maximize that. So that 40 seconds is the length that we can send out. And it's something that really you want to be really mindful of it. I think you mentioned YouTube. I think it's really important to have an array of, video, like library content already created and accessible to yourself. So having a YouTube library, having a bunch of videos in there. I know, Mark, you have a whole lot of videos that you create and you have in drip campaigns and available on your Facebook for your Facebook ads and whatnot. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh yeah. So with my Facebook advertising, it goes to 3 levels because I do retargeting as well. So when I put an ad out in Facebook, and they opt in, so like, for example, say it's a homes list ad, and if you guys don't know who Grantwise is, you guys should follow Grantwise and follow his program and learn what he's got going on. But you put out a homes list ad, you send them properties, and the list is from the MLS, right? So they opt in. When they opt in and they get the list, there is a second level campaign, which they follow. Because they opted in, Facebook now starts your level 1 campaign, which is your first level retargeting. So they see say you have 6 to 10 videos of who you are. So you might be talking the difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval, or you can be talking about what the market is like, or you can talk about what you need to know about buying a house, or what you need to know about selling a house, right? So they're automatically going to get in their feed. They're automatically going to get in their feed all those videos. Now, if they've watched those videos, or each one of those videos over a certain amount of a certain percentage amount. So like for me, I choose 65%. So if they've watched each one of those videos of 65% each, then they move on to like the level 2, which now shows my reviews. So people who have talked really good things about me, and these are video reviews. So when you have your clients, and you can actually get video reviews in the deal, especially when they're happy. When they're happy, it's a good time to get a review, right? Because you never know what the end of the deal is going to look like. But when they're happy, you get a review, and then you can now add that review as a third tier retargeting campaign. And so that's how they move from opting into your ad, then they're getting to know you, then they're seeing your success in the business and hearing your reviews, and that's when they reach out to you. Now, a really cool way, if you're not doing that with if you're not doing that with Facebook, a really cool way to do that with Wise Agent is to do those same things, right? So you could use the landing pages, and they can opt into the landing page. When they opt into the landing page, now you could set up your lead rules on what needs to happen and how you can actually go about setting up retargeting. And retargeting is very important. Why? Because it's not a one-touch thing, right? We know that we have to follow up all the time. 80% of our time we're spending doing follow-up, right? So if your follow-up can be automated, that leaves you with a lot more time to do more or do other things, right? And Wise Agent has, the way it's set up, it's so flexible. You could actually do these things, right? And that's one of the things that I started off doing a lot before I actually got a website, was using those landing pages and going live with those landing pages, or you can call them capture forms, right? Yeah, it's just ideal to do it that way. And then so all those videos that you're going to make, 40 seconds or less, or 60 seconds if you want to send them personally from your phone, you can now say, okay, here's 10 videos about what's going on in the market right now. And then after those 10 videos, you send them a text, right? And you could send them, whatever you want to say, you choose. And then after that, now you could start sending them reviews. And if other people are talking good about you, it bodes well for them to build that trust and actually want to work with you because they've seen other people do it, right? So, and a lot of agents, the things that a lot of agents do is when they're marketing and they're putting out information, they're sending information to people for them just to get to know them. But the way people actually call you up to do business is if they see success in the business, right? So if you put in an offer today, you want to video that or take a picture of that or whatever. Hey, we'll put in an offer today. People want to see that you're having some sort of success in the business, and those things actually lead them to call you or set an appointment with you, which is the goal, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I know there's a lot of questions coming in about landing pages and some other features here. So I'm going to just share my screen one more time here and show everyone our landing pages and what Mark is talking about. So from our marketing drop down here, you'll go to landing pages, and what he's talking about is, these are our templates that we have. And so we have templates for home valuation. We have a couple for an open house. We understand that open houses sometimes in some parts of the country, and for some people, they're going to be virtual open houses. And so, you can have a little bit more detail than that one. And then tips for selling, single property, multiple property, helping get to know you. I love, this is one of my favorite ones. And then there's also, if you're a broker, team lead, or you're doing recruiting, we also have one for recruiting as well. I'm going to show you one of I've got a couple of favorite ones. So single property page, I think this is a super important one. I'm going to just go in the edit mode so I can show you how easy this is. Really, so this is just a template, and you can come in here. Obviously, you know, this house might not look like the house that you're, you know, that you're selling. So you want to update this. So you can do that. The most important thing to understand about a landing page is that there's a singular focus of what you are trying to accomplish here, and that is trying to capture people's contact information. Right. And so the form and all of this that you're doing beforehand, right, should be a way to get them to keep scrolling down and keep looking. Right. So you want to put in nice imagery here. If you don't have that many images, or you don't have that much that much to say about the property, you can always remove these things. You can include a YouTube video in here. I always recommend that, especially if it's a fabulous property like this one looks like it's a fabulous property, including a YouTube video. So, you know, especially in the times that we're living in, maybe some people are, you know, they want to preview it, and this is a great way of doing that. So you can include a YouTube video, but then this is the bread and butter right here. This is what, you know, that what you guys need to really be aware of is that you want them to really be directed to filling out this form and having a strong call to action, like schedule a showing today. You know, tell them exactly what is going to be happening when they click on submit. They're going to be, you know, submitting their information so you can contact them about scheduling a showing. So you need to be aware of that. So then your message flows through with the next set of things that you're going to be doing. So if I go back, got too many tabs and things open here. Oh, geez, Zoom's got a lot of different windows. So now I can come back up here and select my response. So now I can have a response where, you know, it can be another little page that just says, thanks for reaching out, and then your contact information and saying, I have your information, I'll contact you soon, or whatever it is that you want to say. Or I can just redirect them and say, redirect them back to this page. And that would work more for an open house landing page, right? Because that would be weird to send them to some other page, right? You just want to redirect it. So, or refresh it to that same page. Or you could redirect it to maybe your website or to your Zillow, you know, Zillow reviews or your Facebook page or whatever it is that you want to do. But the response page, the response is really what you want to have done. And then that's that first portion of the whole grand scheme of things, right? So once you have this completed, again, my Zoom stuff is all over the place here. Then I want to go back and set up my drip campaign. So, or I'm sorry, my lead rules. Before I post it anywhere, I'm going to set this up. So I'm going to say that this is just a Facebook ad or something I'm going to post. So now I want to make sure that I put in the source of whatever that source was of that page. I want to add it to a drip campaign that I've already created. I want to add them to a category. Maybe this is targeting, you know, this is targeting buyers. So I will have this as a buyer tag. And maybe I also want to send them my monthly newsletter email. So now I send them the autoresponder. I'll send them, you know, either email or text, maybe both if you prefer, whatever it is that you feel would work for your situation. And then of course the notification is really important. If you're on a team, distributing that lead through our lead filters. I won't get into that. But so now your message though, this is what you need to make sure that it follows like a whole entire funnel. So you're showing them a particular listing. You want to talk about that listing, saying, hey, this house is a whatever it is, and I'll be calling you shortly so you can view it. Or please feel free to reply to me and tell me what days and times you're available to see the property. Okay, so then once you have that done, then you come back in and you post the landing page. And the way you do that is simply by clicking on this share link here, and you can post it. You could just have the URL and include it into a text message if you want. You can include it in an email, however you see fit. You can also embed it in your website. But then we also have this Facebook feature. So you log into your Facebook and let's see, hold on, because I might have to stop sharing so I can share that screen. There it is. So here's the screen. It'll pop up saying, you know, Rachel Green is going to, you know, say this. So I post whatever I want to post here, and I can share it on my news feed. I can share it on a page that I manage, and it'll show me all my pages. So I'll post it on my business page, and then I can just post it to Facebook. And so then once I post it, I can come in here and I'll be able to see it. Ooh. Should stop sharing my screen. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, so then once it gets posted, it goes to Facebook. And now from there, you've posted it, you're capturing leads. Anytime anyone sees that post, they fill out that form, it comes in automatically into Wise Agent. They get that text message or the email that you've responded to, and everything goes along with it. So
yep,
I hope I explained that thoroughly to everybody.
Yeah.
So hopefully that was, I know that was quite a few questions on that.
Yeah, and each of the landing pages, they don't look the same. Like when you actually go live, when you actually preview it, you know, so they look different, and it's just, you know, rather than going somewhere else to build landing pages and stuff like that, the templates are already there. It's already set up. It's so easy to use. It's a no-brainer if you ask me.
Yeah, and the other thing is, there's a question here saying, can landing pages have Facebook pre-filled registration forms? So that would be the on the ads that you can create from Facebook. They have all of that in there for you. So we have an integration, a direct integration. You don't have to use Zapier, unlike some other platforms that force you to do it that way. That costs a little bit more money. We have a direct integration. And what happens is, with the click of a button, as soon as they see your form that you created in your ad from Facebook, it pre-fills out their form and then comes right into Wise Agent, follows those rules again. And one of the questions was, can I explain the opt-in emails? Yesterday I was on I think it was yesterday. Maybe it was yesterday. We were on Facebook Live. We made some announcements yesterday about opting in on our emails and the way that works now. So if you capture a lead from Facebook or from any of your sources, realtor.com, Zillow, your website, they will automatically be opted in to receive your emails. And so what that does is that helps with the email sending reputation that you'll have. It'll help build your reputation. You want to make sure that your messaging, though, it's really important to make sure that your messaging is clear and consistent, because that will just help with everything, because people will now see your message and will remember your brand and open up your messages. So consistency is key. Wouldn't you say, Mark?
Yep. I agree. And one of the things that I do is, like, I pre-make these videos, right? So I say, if we're going to talk about this, then I do like 5 to 6 videos of this topic, right? That all work together and that all match. And so it's good to have that in mind. And then you'll see it across all platforms. You'll see it in Instagram, you'll see a longer version of the same video in Facebook, and then a longer version of the same video in YouTube. And then, you know, obviously your 40 seconds in Wise Agent, you know, so if you want to do that and have the same message in 4 different platforms, that's a really good way of going about it, and actually just taking the time to, you know, pre-make these videos before you actually go in and figure out, oh, what am I trying to do? What am I trying to say? You know? Yeah. So just break it down like that and be time sensitive and being consistent, which we always struggle with. Being consistent with our messaging. Right. So that's why I like Wise Agent with the ability to just automate stuff. That's just very, very helpful for me, at least.
Yeah. And Mark, someone's asking you a question here. Are you creating a landing page for each of your listings?
Yep.
Yeah. And so with that,
there's a video and there's a video ad for each one of them, also on Facebook advertising as well.
Yeah. And so with Wise Agent, what you would do is we give you 1 free landing page per account. If you want additional landing pages, it's an additional $5 a landing page, but you can create. So all of these have been created in my account, and I can just turn this one off and turn this one on if I don't want to pay an additional fee for it. Or I can just pay for 2 or 3 or whatever at one time, and then they would all be accessible at any given time. And that's really good for, you know, having multiple properties that you're selling, that you want to have that on there. Or you can just use our multiple property page here, where you would just list all of your properties and then just have one landing page, one form, I'm sorry, here that they could fill out. So you can list all of your properties in one spot and have one form. So it doesn't make for a really clear, like, which one are they most interested in. But what you could do is eliminate this form on this page and have this more info linked to a single property page. That would be ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just happens for me that a lot of my listings don't really overlap like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. And someone's asking if you can connect the landing page to your website. Absolutely. So when you have an embed code here that you could that you can embed within as an iframe to your website. Another question, or where are you posting these landing pages? So you can post them, like I said, on Facebook. You could also take the link, the short URL link, or the regular page URL, and you can actually go into, this is what I personally like doing. I like going in and sending a text message. You know, I'm a big fan of segmenting audiences. You will hear me saying that phrase like, I don't know, 100 times a week, is segment your audience. Make sure that, you know, if you have a few hundred contacts in your account, in your database, you want to make sure that each one fills in at least one category, fits in at least one category. And then, you know, make sure that you're updating this continuously. And so that you're moving people around from either, you know, they're either buyers or sellers or past clients, or, you know, past clients from 2020, or however you want to manage that. It's completely up to you, but I think it is a huge thing that you should all be doing, right? So you can see I have multiple categories for Paul Newman and, you know, Alice Nelson and Rachel Green and everybody else. So you want to make sure, and Bon Jovi. So you want to make sure that you're really segmenting your audience. So once you've done that, and I'll go back to my VIP list here, and I've, you know, found the people that I want to send this landing page to, then I can just select them here and I can send them a text really quickly and just say hi, and I can just plug in the placeholder and, you know, thought you would like this. And then put in the link, and then maybe even attach a property flyer and go ahead and send that off. And so then that will go to everybody. I could include their spouses once again on this, and this would go out to everybody that you want to.
Another cool thing too.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, talk about property flyers, but you go ahead and you tell us what you wanted to say.
Oh yeah. So with the landing pages as well, right? So there's a link that's created, and so with that link, I don't know if you guys use Bitly or not, but I do use Bitly. Bitly is free. You can go to bitly.com, and then you could take whatever, if you have a long link or a short link, however, and then just put it in, and it creates a new link. On the back end of the link, you can name it. You can name it whatever you want to name it, right? So you can name it and then start using that link. The cool thing about that is what Bitly does is Bitly tracks where the person clicked that link from, right? So you can see, oh, okay, I had the link over here on YouTube or Instagram and Facebook. And then you can see, hey, we got a lot more clicks on Instagram. So you're recognizing this ad or this landing page in this format works very well for Instagram. So it's a good way to track what your ads are actually doing, or what your landing pages are actually doing, and who's actually clicking and who's actually being involved or getting involved with your landing page, right? So Bitly is a great resource for that. It costs nothing to do that. So yeah, go ahead and just create a whole bunch of links.
Yeah, no, that's a great thing. Bitly is great, and we have that integration, so you can that short code will give you that there for you. So so someone's asking, Jan's asking, it's easy to talk about the listings, but how about for those of us who are starting off and don't have any listings and trying to attract buyers? Mark, do you have anything that you want to talk to
if you're trying, so you have no listings and you're trying to attract buyers, right? You're trying to attract
buyers.
Okay, if you're trying to attract buyers, what I would do is you need to be the source of where the buyers are. So like, for example, whatever the average sales price in, say I moved to San Antonio, right? San Antonio, I don't know anybody in San Antonio. I'm trying to get buyers. Well, what's the average sales price in San Antonio? And you could go by county, or you could go by the cities. Like, for example, in Arizona, we got Tolleson, Avondale, we got Scottsdale, Gilbert, and all these different cities, right? Each one of those cities have a different average sales price. Okay, cool. So you go into the MLS and you look for properties within that sales price. And then what you're going to want to do is now you want to create a homes list ad. You want to give them access to these homes. You want them to see these homes, and you want to get in front of these people. That's another way of doing it as a Facebook advertising if you want to. If you're not going to do Facebook advertising, the best way, we used to say open houses was the best way to do it right now to get buyers. However, with COVID, right, if you're going to do a virtual open house, right, then it still needs to follow the same process. So the best way right now, I would say, for anybody to go out and get buyers, if you're not physically going out there, is to actually go and do an ad. If you're going to use a landing page, you're promoting properties that are the average sales price in that area, right? Because those are where most people are going. So if the average sales price is 200,000, right, in your area, well, that's or say it's 300,000. So it's 300,000. Then you want to find properties between $270,000 and $330,000, and you want them to view that, all right, and show them all those properties. You need about 15 to 20 on that list, and then get that online. Get that online. Talk about those properties. Get yourself in front of a video. I tell people this all the time. They don't want to do it. They just show a picture of the property. Nobody cares about the picture, right? They want to see you at the property. They want to see you at the property. You telling them, hey, this property has 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. Here's what's going on underneath the sink. Hey, if you want to take a look around the house, here's what they got: a pool. You know, if you know the rules about the community. So whoever offers the most value is the one that's actually going to win and get that client. So video, a lot more people are going to look on video, right? However, you have some people who are not going to do that, right? So then what's their form of communication? Whatever their form of communication is, you need to be there, right? Today, we just have a lot more people utilizing video, which is why agents who don't like using video, I'm sorry, you're going to miss out, man. You're going to miss out on a lot of opportunities, because that's where most people are. So I'm not saying not be anywhere else, but be in all the spaces where your potential clients are, right? So if you're dealing with luxury, if you're looking for a luxury client, so where are they? Where are they? What medium are they using? Well, they're still using magazines today, right? So you need to be in the magazines, right? So if you don't have a property in a magazine and you're not doing these tours and you have a luxury property, then you're missing out on luxury people, right? If you're looking for, your everyday person, between $300,000 to $450,000 worth of property, they're all on Facebook, right? They're all on Facebook. And interestingly enough, Instagram, I get a lot of referrals from Instagram as well. So that's a great place to show up. And also, interestingly enough, LinkedIn is changing. The way how LinkedIn is operating, they're changing as well. So if you're not on LinkedIn, I would say show up on LinkedIn as well. And then we will see what TikTok does in the future, but that's a great place to just show up there, whatever you're trying to do there. And then there's another app that's coming out. Well, that's out as well. It's called Clubhouse. Yeah. The Clubhouse app. If you haven't heard about Clubhouse, I'm signing up today. I just learned about it yesterday. I'm like, oh, what? I didn't know about this, and I'm usually on top of this stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a great
I'm not on it, but I hear mixed reviews. To me, it sounds like a AM radio a little bit, but yeah, interested. Yeah, it'll be,
Yeah, but how I would use it, it's because you're creating this space where you can gather or you could talk, right? You can talk. It's almost like you're creating an avenue to have a discussion with a lot of people and all these people can join in. So if I'm trying to be a community influencer and I want to be the source of information so that I can build more trust, then that's a great platform for me,
right.
you know? And then
That's
you
true.
use it and you just target where you need to target to. So for me, I'm just always looking for opportunities to get in front of people.
Right.
Right?
The thing with Clubhouse, if you guys aren't familiar with yet or haven't heard about it yet, it is all audio, so there is no video. So that's why I wasn't sure, Mark, if you were going to be on it, just because there's no video to it. It's just, like I said, it reminds me of like back in the day, party lines, just like people just kind of just barge in or come in or get invited in to particular groups. But like you said, it is about community influencing, and being a member of the community. I think for all agents, you should all be part of your community. So I live and work here in Fountain Hills. There's many different things about, it's a smaller community too, but that happens across the country, across the globe, where you need to be involved and integrated into the community, to get your name out there, to build that trust, build those relationships. So then people are keeping your name out there, and you're keeping yourself out there. But yeah, and some of Martha's saying Clubhouse is not on Android yet. No, I believe it's only on
No, it's not.
iOS.
No, it's not. They're working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know somebody else was asking, how would you attract sellers if you are new in real estate? How would you attract sellers on, using either, I think a great way of doing that is through our landing pages. You can use, I think there was a couple of questions on that. You can definitely use our landing pages to do like a home valuation. So you can send that out. I'm going to share my screen one more time. This is one that I really love too, is you can create your landing page, and you can send a message, send an email out to your sphere. And you should know like who is in your sphere and why are they all like clustered together. So usually it's because you met a lot of these people at your, at the gym or at your gardening center or whatever, you're doing. I would highly recommend sending them messages that don't necessarily relate to real estate, and then include something about real estate, like a landing page or one of your properties. So you can come in here and subscribe to a blog. And let's say, Southern hospitality, it could be about decorating, it could be about renovation, gardening. So if I want to send this out, I can just click on this message. It's a blog that I've subscribed to within Wise Agent. And I know this is not, I'm going through this pretty quickly, but we're running out of time here. I want to show you this first. So I can set my message up here, and then I can include a landing page and say, one that's active. So I could either send out my multiple property page or my home valuation or whatever it is. I could also send out a list of my properties. So the active properties that I'm doing. So I know this was for sellers, but if you had a landing page that you created that just talks about what's your property worth, reach out to me. Then that would be listed right here. Let's just pretend that this landing page is that, even though it's not, sorry. So then the landing page comes in here, it looks nice and pretty. They click on it, and then it goes to that landing page. So you can email this out to the contacts that you currently already have. So now you can just find, maybe your neighborhood or whatever it is. So these are your neighbors, and then you want to send this out to them. So then the message goes out branded with your company image, and then your information here.